CO2 next time. And then I just need to, oh, and this is for the main Andromeda session for Thursday, June 8th, 2017. Good, let me get the main link here. Oh, and we have a new, that's kind of weird. We have a new process for, wait, can you guys see my screen? Let me just make sure you can see my screen.
Not yet.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, hi. Hi.
Hey. All right, so we have a new process for oh, yes?
I'm in my father business account. I don't know how to get out of there.
It happens. So we have a new process for doing the video indexing. It has to be like this link at the top here. It doesn't work. It has to be this short link down here in the shared area. So this one works, whereas this one doesn't work. So that's the new change for video indexing. Does everyone understand that?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and then all of our video indexing will go much smoother and easier because all the links will actually work instead of not working. Okay, so let's see. Setup, recording, video broadcast. I think we're good on that. I think, oh, I need to add it up here as well. All right, and set up document agenda, check. Session rules. Does anyone want to help us facilitation today? Anyone help with notes? Timekeeper?
I will have notes.
I will do the timekeeping.
Video indexing.
Sure.
Who's that? Jorge?
Yeah, I can help with video indexing.
Nelly. Session value tracking.
Okay, Andren is going to join us today for the meeting.
Great. It's a new person from Jamaica. So session value tracking.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
All right. Master document updating.
This is something I need somebody old who's not know how to do any of this stuff.
Well, there should be videos.
Yeah, I missed all the setup stuff.
Well, yeah, well, there should be videos for it all.
I need to have it talk to somebody and have them explain it all to me.
Totally. Master document updating is basically pretty simple. It's just taking the master topic list, the master responsibilities list, the master task list, and updating it at the end of the meeting so that all of our tasks and responsibilities are updated.
All right, somebody share this document with him, and I can do that.
It's all in the it's in the Skype.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll find it.
Who wants to do the master document updating?
I can do that.
Nelly? All right, and then session verification spreadsheet.
Yeah, I can do that also.
Nelly, and I'll help as well. All right, and if Asana comes up, you can do that. And Acleta, but I don't know where we're at with that. All right, so I think we're ready for check-ins.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I can start.
We're going to start the video now.
Oh, the video started at 2:02.
2:02?
Yeah, it's right here. See, 2:02, video indexing.
Okay.
So I'll start with check-ins. I'm doing pretty well. Probably like a 6.5. And yeah, it's like there's still a lot going on, and I'm a little overwhelmed with everything. But I feel like I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and progress is being made every day, which is very exciting. So, and I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for our weekly meeting. Yeah, check.
Okay. I can go next. Well, I'm like really tired. I'm a little bit sick, easily tired, but will pass. So I don't know. The other day I broke a teeth. So yesterday I went to fixing it. Now it's luckily. And that's pretty much it. And I'm like a 5.
Who wants to go next? Nelly?
Yeah, sure. I had a very relaxed morning. I'm very happy now for some decisions that I made that are very critical in my life. So I'm very happy about that. And moving forward, I'm very excited about our weekly meeting because I think the body teams are really working. So check.
And your number?
I think I feel like a 6.
Steve?
I'm probably like a 4.5, 5 today. I got a lot of personal problems with getting my fiance here. Really weighing on my head a lot. And I'm a little upset that I haven't been able to catch up with everybody on some of this documentation stuff. It's not my stuff. It's so far behind. It's annoying me and getting me down. We'll catch up, and I know things will work out with my fiance's paperwork eventually. I just miss her really badly, and makes me kind of depressed and upset, but life will go on. I'm happy to be here, of course.
Jorge?
Keeps me occupied.
Jorge?
Right. I had a busy morning, but it was very productive. I have some simultaneous translating this morning for a company, and yeah, I was feeling good. I'm feeling like 7.
Cool. Awesome. And just to give Adrian some context here, we have like Jorge's in Colombia, Steve's in New York City, Nelly's in near Mexico City, Ana Clara's in Uruguay.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then I'm in California, near San Francisco. And so yeah, so you can introduce yourself, maybe give us a little bit of background on you and stuff. But I think you are the last one if you're here. Heard you yet? Nelly, do you want to? Is she here or what's going on?
I'm here.
Well, no, you said that Adrian's here.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought you said that she was here.
I cannot see anybody.
Yes,
here.
She told me that she will be here. She asked me how to join the session.
And so, did you send her the link and stuff?
Yes, I did.
Do we have her Skype? Can we add her to the group at all, or?
Yes.
All right, let's have James check in the meantime.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
For me, I had a very good day. And yesterday we had a very good FQN experience session. So for me today, I'm like a 7. Very good. So I'm a 7.
All right, so Nelly, are you gonna work on the communication support?
Yes. Andrea is unable to connect because she's trying to install the plugin, but she's getting an error message.
Okay, she can also try the voice over IP. Did you send her the link to the to the wc.tc/global calls?
I'm on it.
And then she can try the voice over IP. I don't know if there's actually a Jamaican number. No, I don't see Jamaica. No Jamaica. So there's the So yeah, so she could try calling in with voice over IP or something. But yeah, hopefully she'll jump on and we can have her check in at that time. All right, so let's see. That done, check-ins done. So generally speaking, we're gonna try to keep this to 2 hours. Let's start the wrap up. Start wrap up at 3:30 American time, and that would be for you,
Okay.
Ana Clara. All right, desired outcomes. I mean, I think we want to make sure we that we have clarity on the budget would be good. I think we talked a little bit about maybe starting brainstorming our team goals. I think there was some discussion about that. Maybe getting on the same page for our client responsibilities. I think we need to just like get more organized on understanding how to coordinate and projects. So that's sort of what I have here. Are there other desired outcomes that people might have?
Yeah, I was saying budget, but you already have that there.
We had some minor changes that we wish to make on value tracking, but I know that you were working on that yesterday, so I don't know if you already were on that or what.
So maybe a check-in on value tracking changes of the client, and we can pop that into here.
And that's it for me.
Okay. So it could possibly be good to break into buddy teams, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right. So any other desired outcomes?
Not for me.
That's a decent amount to get done today as it is. So
I think the other one is just like they more organized as a team. Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Ashley.
Are you able to talk any louder?
Yes, I can talk a little louder.
That's perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So it looks like we have Adrenine. Is that it? Can you say your name? Andrine. All right, cool. So let's go through really quick our names again. And where we're located for Andrine. So my name's Jay, and I'm in California, and I'm like near San Francisco. Ana Clara?
I'm Ana Clara, nice to meet you. And I'm currently living in Montevideo, Uruguay.
And Nelly?
Nelly.
Steve? Steve,
Hello, I'm Nelly. Okay. I'm from Mexico. I'm the one who's been in touch with you.
Steve?
I am Steve. I'm in New York.
Wait, Jorge?
I'm Jorge, and I'm in Bogota, Colombia.
And James?
We lost James on the screen. I don't see him.
We lost James?
Yeah, he's not on the bottom of the screen at the moment.
All right. Well, James is in Kenya, so cool. So you missed our earlier check-ins, but at least you know where everybody is and their names who are here. So just go ahead and you know, check in, let us know how you're doing, and also introduce yourself a little bit. You know, your background, what's important to you, what your life goals are, and we'd love to learn a little more about you.
Okay, my name is Andrea. I live in Jamaica, and I'm married with 2 children. And my life goals are to be able to make some impact on whatever area of life that I touch. I attend the Linksted Baptist Church, and I'm a Christian and the choir director for the Gospel Bells Choir, which is the baby choir from 5 to 11.
Cool.
I'm currently studying online.
You study life?
I'm studying online.
Oh, you study online.
Administration online.
Great. Cool. Very cool. Awesome. All right. And what kind of skills and types of work do you like to do?
I work as an administrative assistant, and most of my jobs online are virtual assistants related to administrative work like research, typing, any office-related work that can be done online, letter writing, email, those kinds of things.
Cool. Do you have a lot of experience in Google spreadsheets and Google Docs and stuff like that?
Yes, and appointment setting and those things.
Cool. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Andrine? Is that correct? Say your name again.
Andrine.
Andrine. Does anyone have any questions for Andrine?
Which city do you live, Andrine?
I didn't get that.
Which city?
Yeah.
I live in St. Catherine. It's not really a city, it's a parish in Jamaica. We only have 3 cities, and I don't live in any of the cities.
Nice. Great. And then the last question would be, we do a number between 0 and 9 for how we are feeling in general with our life and the work and just everything in general, to get a general idea. So just a number between 0 and 9 of how you are.
Give a number between, I don't understand. So give a number between 0 and 9
for just how you feel and how you're doing.
What?
Yeah, just how you feel and how you're doing in general for right now, for today.
Right now?
Yeah.
Between 0 and 9, I'm at a 7.
You're a 7. Perfect. Great. All right. So so we're gonna move on into finishing up our agenda, and then let's make sure, Nelly, that we have the Skype and we can add Andrine to the Skype.
Yes, I'm on it.
Skype, and then also that she has the link to the actual doc. A couple things that we forget sometimes is, in the attendance, right? We would want to check if people have their computers and stuff like that, and that kind of stuff. So that's something we might want to look into later. Early, so this would be part of the value tracking. So this would be early Jay, Steve, and Ana Clara. On time was Jorge. A little later, maybe James.
I already add her.
Great, perfect, cool. So anyway, so this could use a little bit of work here. So yeah, I mean, right now the only people I know who are definitely who have their computers is obviously Jay's working on, Clara is working with computer, Jorge's working with the computer, as well as Nelly. Okay, so we got our desired outcome. So now let's get our topics set up. So I think we should start with the budget. and then maybe go into our client responsibilities. And I'm hoping to go over a little bit more of responsibility and project coordination. And then if we have time, it would be great to do some team equity and main session spreadsheet, and then also umbrella accounting and finance. That's what I've got. Is there anything missing?
Nope.
Oh yeah, team goals. Let's see.
Brainstorming and team goals.
Maybe we could do that quickly after the budget. Team goals? I don't know. I don't think our team goals should be too complicated since our focus is mainly on the client responsibilities. So how does this sound for our topics for today?
Great.
Any objections or questions about our topics? Okay, sweet. So let's start with the budget discussion. Okay. So the first thing that we need to make sure is really clear is that we need to update the full team budget with the main and for main buddy team. The main buddy teams and provisional buddy teams. So let's link in the full team budget, and we can take a look at that real quick. And Nelly, can you make sure that we send a admin the link to like the YouTube feed and stuff like that to make sure she can see this screen? It might be another way she might be able to see the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's see here. We want to go to here. The easiest way to do this is actually with this doc. All right, so here are notes. If I go to the Americas team, I mean the Andromeda team, we want to pull up the budget. It should not be so hard to find the full team budget. I don't see it anywhere here. So let's, oh, here we go, full team budget. Okay. So I'm opening the full team budget now. And what the main thing we want to see here is that for the full team buddy teams, we're still behind here on getting it all set up, but we're making progress. We're definitely making progress. So basically, you know, all this is going to get deleted because it's just not in the right format, right? We want it all to be based on buddy teams because that's how the budget is decided by the HR board. So the biggest problem for the Andromeda buddy teams, right? So you have Jorge, Nelly, and Anacleta, is that we have the total proposed, but we need the ideal to request it in the lowest, right? So that's a problem. So let's note that down.
Is that something that we should talk like the 3 of us in another time, or is something that we should discuss now?
If you guys gonna change your proposal, then that's something you would discuss at your own time, or just like Skyping or whatever, you know?
Okay.
Anacleta, Jorge, and Nelly, right? So, you know, last week, my understanding is that we approved this proposal. that's a major problem right now is the responsibility of documentations, proposals documentations, updating the proposal doc, updating proposal doc, right? No, decisions doc, decisions doc. So we need to figure out how that works within the positions. So it seems like the master document updating position could be responsible for that, or we could make a new position. I think master document updating is the ideal. Does that make sense? So the master document updating would update at the end of the session, would update the the decisions doc, right?
Yes.
So when I go up here, I click on the America's Double Team, and I go to our double team or super team, and I go to the master docs, and I see the master decisions doc, and I click on it. It should have right at the top last week's session and the decision that we made on the budget. So maybe I should do a quick training on this. Do you guys want me to do a quick training on this on how to update the master decisions doc?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and that basically what that does is it allows us to not have to go through all these notes. You know, so I'm looking for a decision. It's like, well, how do I find the decision? You know, I have to go through like 30 pages of notes. Like, are you kidding me? You know. So that's why the decisions doc is important to pull out the actual decisions that are made. So let's go through this really quickly, and this will be needing to be indexed.
It's like the tasks doc, but with decisions.
Exactly. So let's do this updating the decisions doc, and we'll call it the master decisions doc. And we're going to go ahead and do that as its own header. And index that. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Let's use last week as an example. So I go into last week's Thursday meeting, June 1st. And I'm coming down here to the budget, which was right here. And we had where we are, where we're going. Here's the budget proposal breakdown right here. And then we, wait, I think this is it right here. Proposal to create provisional team buddy team agreement. Proposal to approve the June budget, and we all voted on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I would copy that, and I would take it in here, and then I would link the meeting right here at the top. So there are the notes. There's the meeting. And that's pretty much it. This would, you know, I would put like, you know, maybe Thursday, June 1st, and make that the header or something like that. So eventually we would have, and you put, and then like right here, most recent decisions are always at the top. And then you have the date for each meeting. So Thursday, June 1st, you could write like main Andromeda session. And then you would eventually here we would have a table of contents. So you would see the date of the meeting, and then you would go to the day of the meeting and see all the decisions made at that meeting, right? So all of this should go away. Like this isn't right. And the most important thing to note here is that you just need to put the proposal, right? So we had 2 proposals. We created the provisional buddy team, and we approved the budget. So there's 2 proposals, and we don't need to have any actual, like, you know, notes and details. Does that make sense? Like, that's what
Yes.
the notes are for. The notes are for the notes, right? This is just for the decision itself. Cool. All right. So any questions on how to update the decisions doc?
It's very clear for me.
Cool.
All right.
And we're going to say that this is part of the master, it's part of the position for the master updating of the docs. So the master document updating would do that at the end of the meeting. All right. So maybe we actually do
Okay.
want a link here in the so this could be another task. Another task is to update the template voice notes with the master decisions. So just like add this to the important documents. Okay, so like right here, we should have a link to the master decisions doc as well. And then we'll have it all done. Sound good?
Okay.
So somebody take care of that. That's a task. We get that updating decisions doc. So there's the updating decisions doc. There's a lot more that needs to be done to update a decisions doc, going through all of our past meeting notes and updating it correctly. So buddy team Ana Clara. So this is the provisional buddy team. Provisional buddy team Ana Clara, Jorge, Nelly. You guys need to you know, update the budget with ideal lowest requested. All right. So that's that. Next would be and I mean, this can happen right now. There's no like need to wait for that. From there, for Lucy and James, we have their new updated July-August budget, but we need their old June-July budget. Shoot, I messed that up. So this is a task. Do I need to say who needs to do this task? Because that's pretty clear, right?
All of us, yeah. We have to have a small meeting and decide that. Ana Clara, and Elaine, and myself.
No. It's nothing to decide. It just needs to be updated. We just need to update
Okay.
this. It just needs to be added in. It could take 3 minutes or maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. But the point is that we have all this information, and this is for June, July budget. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So next is provisional buddy team Lucy and James. Miss James, you could help with this. We need to update the existing June/July budget. Ideal lowest. Okay, does that make sense? So you have your new updated for July-August. We have that in here, but we need your old June and July here as well as there. Okay.
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 Yeah. And we're not sure where you're gonna fit in the budget yet. We just don't know because it doesn't fit in the Sonic team budget. And Zilu is not correct. This is for July, August. So this is provisional buddy team Abdul and Ulysses. So we need this. And this is the Sonic budget. And that's confirmed. Are we all on the same page here? It's looking pretty good.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. That is provisional buddy team Abdul and Ulysses. So need to input June, July existing budget. So then from there, I think we could do like maybe we could do a provisional. We could potentially do a proposal for like a provisional buddy team for like Steve and provisional buddy team for Steve and Anthony, maybe. Okay. for July, for June, July. Does anyone have any objections to that, Steve? Adenine, maybe you guys could do a provisional buddy team for the month. We could just add you guys in. Does anyone have any objections to creating the provisional buddy team for Steve and Adenine? Adenine?
Andreen.
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 I think later we should like explain to her what is this provisional body teams for the budget and how it works.
Yeah, and Steve could be responsible for that since he would be making a buddy team.
Yeah, I can explain that to her.
So does anyone have any objection to the proposal for creating the provisional buddy team for Steve and Adrien?
No,
Right.
I think it's great.
So we have agreement here.
Sounds good to me.
So that will get us for June, and then we need to do provisional buddy team for Steve and Adrien. I'll get it eventually. And this would be for June/July. And Nelly, you should help with this as well, because you have all the information for everyone. I think Steve's doing like, Steve is $0 for his lowest, and you think we're doing like $200. All right, so that would be another task, and then you have all of Andreen's information, and then we'll make this yellow. Boom. Okay, are we missing anybody? So this will be provisional buddy team, Steve and Andreen. So we have Julie, and I think Julie's gonna do a main buddy team with her husband, Julie and Benji. We got Ulysses, we got Zilu, we got James, we got Lucy, Jorge, Nelly, Anacleta. Isaac, we're excluding. He is not going to be in the budget.
Nope.
So this is global question mark. Julie and Benji, we don't know how they're gonna fit in the budget. These ones are pretty much in the budget. This, we're not sure about the budget. This is all in the budget currently, and this is in the budget. Okay. So basically the green ones means that we know that it's basically fits in some budget somewhere, whereas the red ones don't currently fit in the budget. Zilu is, I guess we could just slap them on with Ulysses. So maybe we have a provisional buddy team, Abdul, Zilu, and Ulysses for June. So this could be June/July. So let's add that as a task. For June/July. All right. So is there anyone missing? Can anyone think of anybody else that we're missing in the budget?
Looks like everyone.
Do we know something about Isaac, or he's still like missing?
Anybody hear anything?
He's gone AWOL.
Okay.
Well, I sent him like 2 messages, like, how's it going and are you okay and everything, but he's not replying.
Yes, same.
And for our,
Maybe he decided he doesn't want to be part. Who knows?
yeah, well, he's not going to get in the budget for next month. So when he gets involved, his only involvement will basically be to propose and figure out his budget, and that's all he'll be allowed to do. And then we'll have to vote on it. In the context of this month, though, he did work the first week of this month, and he will get paid. And we're going to be doing payroll, and let's actually add that to our list if we have time. It'll be good to cover payroll. I think we just do that right after it. Payroll. Okay. All right. So payroll updates. Awesome. All right. So the responsibility.
Okay. Sorry.
You have a question, James?
Yeah, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So okay, for me and Lucy, we did not update the June-July budget. So is it wise for us to maintain the same figures, or because I understand that we had already made a proposal
The June
before the
yeah, the June
for
July
June
the June July
for
budget
June
is
July.
fixed. Yeah, the June
Yeah.
July budget is fixed, right? So that's unchanged, right? And this is your new
Okay.
budget proposal for July, August. And basically what we're doing is we're going to be comparing your previous proposal that didn't fit in the budget with your new proposal and try to fit it into the budget and make a, an offline agreement with the HR board and try to figure it out. It's still going to be a, one-time thing, and it's going to be above budget, so yeah, that makes sense?
So we cannot change the current proposal for the June July.
No, you cannot change the current proposal for June July.
Okay, I understand you now.
Yeah. Cool. So and then on that point, let's just go into our, well, actually let's not mention it yet. So we're going to finish up with the June July budget, and then we're going to talk about the July August budget afterwards. Okay. So so somebody needs to take on the responsibility of team budgeting. It's just like we need people to do that.
I'll do it with you, Jay.
Okay. Steve, anybody else want to help with the team budget? Okay, so this is part of the full team budgeting.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Me and Steve and anyone else who wants to help out with the responsibility of full team budgeting. This would be responsible of like kind of what we're doing now, making sure the whole full team budget is presented and ready to go to the HR board, right? So this is
I can do that.
finalizing the HR board proposal for the monthly budget. Okay. And
Yes, we can help with that.
Anacleta, Nelly. Okay, so we have a couple people. So let's just
Yes.
make sure. Here, I'll take my name off of there. But yeah, Steve, Anacleta, Nelly. So you guys are responsible for making sure that all of these tasks get done. Okay?
Okay.
And then we need to have the final budget all ready and prepared for the HR board, basically by tomorrow. And the final day is Saturday. Like Saturday is the last day of, and the new budget starts on Sunday. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. And we want to have a.
So we have a day to do this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But remember, you guys aren't necessarily responsible for all of it, because each buddy team should be responsible for getting their own thing in. But you guys need to be on top of it and basically be, freaking do it. Get them to do it. Okay, or do it, for them. Either way. All right. So this is exciting. So this is going to be, I think it's what color do we use? I can't remember. Purple. All right. So this is a responsibility. It would go under, for the master of document updating, this would go under our responsibilities. Whoops, that didn't work at all. Let's try that again. Oh, there. And then that can be updated into our master responsibility doc. And then all these tasks can be updated here. There's all these tasks that are in yellow. Lots of tasks. Okay, and that's all within the full team budgeting, except for this little task, which is the decision stock. So let's just get rid of that. Put that down here.
We have to get numbers for everyone else. Okay, that's fine.
And then these can go here. All right. All right, so I think we're pretty clear on all of that. Any questions about updating the current full team budget for the HR board? Okay, no questions. All right. So,
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah.
So okay, for what I understand is that when we made the June-July budgets, we based it on individual proposals and not as a body team. So what we do, combine the both proposals and then try to come up with something, or
yeah. So it's pretty easy. Like, you know, you just come in here. We see here the proposals. You have Lucy and James right here, right? And so we just take Lucy and James, we combine them together, and we put them over here. And so, you know, we did it as individuals when we wrote it out, but the budget is always based on buddy teams. That's just the way it is, and it will always be. Like, that's how we do our budgeting.
Because I can see somewhere where I have a 0 as a figure.
What? 0?
Yeah, 0 as a figure right there. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, here, James, 0. Oh, it's just because you didn't fit in the budget. So this is the actual budget proposal itself, right? So James didn't fit in the budget. Lucy didn't fit in the budget. That's why it's yellow. So all the ones that are yellow were kind of question marks. But either way, this is going to be the new budget, and we still don't know exactly the final outcome. It needs to be all approved and dealt with. So let's look at the schedule for the budget real quick. Budget schedule. So today we have Andromeda team, right? Then tomorrow, I believe, we have the full moon session. So this is the global budget, global meeting, right? And this is the most important. This is the highest level for you know, our organization, right? And then on Saturday we have the I think it's the second Saturday, right? So this would be the executive meeting for Americas. And this would be, you know, basically, and then we're also going to be checking in async on HR board, and this includes Heather. So Heather's kind of like all of our bosses because she's the highest level in the HR board. So she's going to have to approve it all, and that's going to happen by Saturday, either Friday. This might be Friday night, or Saturday. Okay, does that make sense in terms of the schedule? And then that'll be done for June. This will be for June/July. Okay. And this is the most important meeting here, is to get it all done for the full moon session, because that's our highest level decision making for the whole full team. Is the full moon session. And just to double check, unitynet.info. If we go to the calendars, let's just use the America's time. So the full moon session is tomorrow at 7 a.m. And that'll be basically, it would be ideal to get the full team budget ready to propose at the full team, like full moon session tomorrow, and just get it finalized and approved, and then, you know, that would be nice. And then it goes to the HR board. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. All right, and you can see how much easier it is to deal with the buddy team budgets. It's going to be a lot cleaner and, you know, clearer. We're going to be getting rid of some of these. Like, for example, provisional buddy team Abdul, Zilu, and Ulysses can replace main buddy team Abdul and Zilu and provisional buddy team Abdul and Ulysses, right? So we could just cut those out and then just put this one, right? So it's just going to be a lot cleaner, simpler, and clearer for the decision making than this. There's just a lot. All right, sweet. So, and just to make sure you guys understand, before the policy was still that you guys needed to do your buddy teams and your provisional buddy teams and approve all the budgets, but just no one was doing it. We just asked people over and over and over again every couple weeks to do their buddy team budgets and approve each other's budgets. And no one did it. So the only thing that's changed between now and then is that the HR board, specifically Heather, is putting her foot down, and she's like, everyone's gonna get cut unless they do it. It's like we got to follow the policy and actually do the buddy teams, create the proposals, and create the budget correctly the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Awesome. All right, and it looks like somebody already did the requested and lowest amount. I don't know if this is totally right because we could see here that, for example, Jorge requested 350. Yeah, so that's the only difference. So maybe it might be a $50 difference there. So there might be an additional $50 here in the requested amount. All right.
We need to make some changes also. So.
Oh yeah. So we'll talk about the changes in just a minute. Like basically for June, July, no one can change anything. It's all fixed already, and it was fixed from 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll talk about.
It's just for the next.
For the next round, we'll talk about that in just a minute. But the only other thing we want to finalize is our budget. The only thing we can add in here is Nelly. Can you let us know for Angeline? Oh my God, Angeline. Oh my God.
Andrine.
Andrine.
Okay, you'll get it after.
Can you let me know for Andrine how much she's doing for this?
Yes. Give me just 1 second. I have it right here.
Was it 200?
Oh my gosh. It's give me just 1 second. I think it's 200, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's 200 too.
200.
200. Cool. Awesome. All right. So we're all in
200,
agreement.
yeah.
200. So we're all in agreement. It's 200 for the next month. So that's in the budget. America's buffer will be an additional $100. We have some local budget, and I need help with the recruitment, the local recruitment.
Yeah, it's 200 for 10 hours.
For 10 hours. Great. Okay. So
Yeah.
and then this is all good. This is all good. Steve is going to go into the Rico budget. We're giving 300 to the Sonic team, and I think that's the only update. So, does anyone change their vote? We already have everybody's vote. We can get James. We can get Janine and Adrienne. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous.
Andrine.
Andrine. Okay. Right, so the only votes missing are Andrine, James. I think that's it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're approving the specifically the Sonic, the Andromeda team June, July budget. So James, do you vote yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and Andrine, you vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we have another approval, and everyone else just keeps their vote the same. So speak out now if you want to change it. And then we updated the budget. It's approved. It's ready to go. Any other questions at all about the June, July budget?
Not me.
Okay, cool. And so what this means is that, within this, as long as the HR board approves it, Jorge, Ana Clara, Nelly, and Jean, right? Let's add this. This is Jean.
Andrine.
Add Andrine. Are within the budget. And so from here, when it goes to the full budget, we need to figure out how to add like Steve and other people. But anyways, and then we have a buffer for Isaac in case we wanted to bring him back in, but it's still not approved. And we also have an additional $100 buffer for the public budget. Cool. So that sounds good. Anyone have any other questions on the current budget for June and July? Awesome. All right. So I think once we get a hang of like the buddy team budgets and creating these, it's going to help a lot, and it's going to streamline all of this because a lot of this stuff can happen outside of the meetings. We won't have to go through each individual person by themselves. We'll just be able to do 2, 3 at a time. and it'll be way better. Okay, so let's talk about July, August now. So for July, August, the deadline is supposed to be, basically 1 month before, a minimum of 1 month before budget, right? So that would be like, basically Saturday, right? If you need a couple more days, we'll be able to deal with that. Like, obviously, once we start making decisions on the next month's budget, that's when it's impossible to change. But anyways, we need to know everybody's budget proposal. So again, the steps are: step 1, choose your main buddy team, right? This must be a mutually agreed decision and be documented by all parties. One way to document decision making is like this. You select, you click on comment, no, comment, no, comment, comment, there we go. And I would say, yes, I approve my the creation of my main buddy team. So what this does is it formalizes and tracks the time stamp and the day that you approved with your actual Google account. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's one way of approving and verifying that somebody was actually approved and you created your buddy team. You don't have a buddy team, we can assign a provisional buddy team, and provisional buddy teams are assigned by main groups, right? So like here, we can assign a provisional buddy team. You can't just assign your own provisional buddy team, but sometimes they are. So any questions on step 1 of actually creating a main buddy team? What it means to create a main buddy team?
Nope.
Okay, and then the second step is to approve your buddy's proposal. Right? So you have to approve the proposal. If you don't approve it, then you are breaking up your team. Okay, and then you would look for it, and then you go back to step 1 and find a different person, right? So basically, if you don't approve it, right, and you ask for a change or a reduction or whatever you want to do, and they refuse to do it, and you don't want to approve their payment, you think that it's going to reflect bad on you, right? Then you would say no, and you go find somebody else, right? And you can literally choose anyone. You can choose anyone in the world, right? But you only get one main buddy team. Only get one main buddy team at a time. And you can do up to 3, but when you add an additional main buddy team, your old main buddy team still has to approve it, okay? All right, so the only other thing to make sure everyone understands is that when you propose, for example, Lucy and James as a buddy team, right? Within the budget, Lucy is tied to James and James is tied to Lucy. They're totally linked. So when we can't, within the budget, we will never be approving Lucy separate from James. Right? So it's either both Lucy and James are approved in the budget or they're both cut out of the budget. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
So when you're making your buddy team proposal, it needs to reflect this is your buddy team's proposal to the entire organization and to all the teams and the full team, how much you want to take out of the entire budget, right? And the more you increase your budget, the more you have to cut someone else's budget or not hire somebody else, right? That's just the fact. That's part of why we find ourselves in this very difficult situation, is because everybody increased their budget. By definition, if you increase your budget, that's cutting someone else's, right? There's no other way to do it. But anyone can increase their budget anytime, right? They need to do it. It's their right to do that. And then we just need to do the rankings and figure out the best way to deal with that as an organization, as a team. So then the only other thing to mention here is that when you have 2 buddy teams, for example, you have Abdul and Ulysses and Abdul and Zilu, this creates a third buddy team that is the provisional buddy team. Remember, you can have up to 3 main buddy teams, but you can only create 1 at a time. So what this would mean is, like, if we didn't approve the provisional buddy team of Abdul, Zilu, and Ulysses, right? Abdul could still be approved as just Abdul or Zilu, or just Abdul and Ulysses. Does that make sense?
No.
So there's the provisional buddy team of Abdul, Zilu, and Ulysses, which is 3 people, which is obviously by definition a higher amount of money, right? And so if we weren't able to do this, we cut it from the budget, we don't necessarily have to cut Abdul. We would have to cut either Zilu or Ulysses. But we wouldn't necessarily have to cut Abdul, because we could keep Abdul and Ulysses, or we could keep Abdul and Zilu. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because he has 3 proposals, right? And you can have as many provisional buddy team proposals as have been approved, but you can only have up to 3 main buddy team proposals. Okay?
Okay.
So for example, if Jorge, Nelly, and Ana Clara, you guys decided to make main buddy teams with just 2 of each of you, right? That would make up
My question
3
is,
main buddy.
are there separate budget proposals for each team, and how do they get paid if that's the case?
Everyone's paid as individual. Everyone's ranked and evaluated as individuals, and
Okay.
your work as an individual has no regard on your buddy team. So if your buddy does bad work and is not good, it doesn't affect you as a person, as an individual.
All right.
So it would only affect your budget
decide,
proposal in the future.
We need to decide which one is.
What I'm saying is, though, what I'm asking you, Jay, I'm looking at that column C, and that the page you were just on.
You're looking at column C. This one.
Yeah, I'm looking at column C. Now, we have Lucy and James and 2 different ones. We have Abdul and all the others. Each buddy team is supposed to come up with a budget. How does somebody who's on 3 buddy teams come up with 3 budgets? That's what I want to know. How do we handle that?
The budget for each one is fixed. It's the ideal, the requested, and the lowest, and it has to be the same based on what their proposal is, right? Because you can't have separate proposals. Each individual has a single proposal, right? And that's fixed. And so
I'm talking about the buddy team budget proposals.
yeah, the buddy team proposals are just the combination of the 2 or 3 individual proposals. That's all it is.
Okay. So then we just have black boxes in a couple of places because people went to 2 places at once, and they only come in and they only get filled out once. All right.
Yeah. So we just need to fill all these out.
All right.
It's just work that needs to be done. It shouldn't be that hard to fill all these out. We just need to get them added up and filled out.
No, that should be easy. That should be easy. I just want my columns.
And then this column C is simple as well. It's simply in between the ideal and the lowest. So this is for the HR board and the full team to decide based on the amount of money available. And it's just like, here's the lowest and here's the ideal, and we have to fall somewhere in the middle or minimally the lowest. And then this number can change based on what the budget is.
Okay.
Based on how much money we actually have, right? And then this is where we actually decide whether to cut people or not, whether to cut buddy teams or not. Cool. So this is good. And I mean, we're pushing this forward a little faster than I thought we were going to. So, no one's, we're going to be able to be flexible for this month a little bit, but starting next month, I mean, this is the way it's going to be for sure, right? So let's go through this. So basically for July, August, you choose your main buddy team, you approve your buddy's proposal, and then the third part, and if you don't approve your buddy's proposal, then you need to find a different main buddy team. It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
The third part is to create your combined budget proposal. And you do this by simply adding your jurisdiction. You do need to include the jurisdiction, right? And then you add your ideal, requested, and lowest together. And then this would be its own doc. And let's put the example of Julie and James, because they have a very good example here. James. And I'll show it really quickly, just so you guys can see. So I think it's probably missing the jurisdiction. So we can note that down here. It's missing jurisdiction, combined jurisdiction. And the reason that's important is it has to do with the rankings. So if we're updating the rankings, we won't be able to do that without the jurisdiction. Okay. So here you have the combined budget proposal. You've got ideal pay 950, requested 450, lowest 440. And then you have each individual. This is Lucy's, and this is James. So it's really not that complicated, but you know, it's just something that just should be done, and it should be clear, and it needs to be documented that is approved, right? So that's missing documentation of approval. Missing documentation of approval. So this is also a problem. Looks like James is gone. Okay, so are there any questions on the July-August budget and getting this all set up? And the goal would be to have your finalized proposals, you know, within a few days / okay? For the July / August, no, the June / July budget. And
I needed to make some changes, but I already made them on my document.
Cool,
So,
that's great. Excellent. And just make sure on your document that the changes are within the June July section and not the July, not the June July. It's the July. Oh my God.
Yeah, I understand.
It's currently we're doing June July, so this is going to be for the July August budget. July August. Cool. All right, so are there any, and this would be a task for all the buddy teams, for all main buddy teams and provisional buddy teams. Any last question on the July August budget? I guess I'll also note that another way of doing the approvals is you can just copy and paste the Skype messages. You know, if you do it on Skype or some other form, you just do that. Are there any other questions regarding the budget at all?
I'm fine.
Yeah, me too.
So
Yes.
I think we're good then, right? We're good, ready to move on?
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, good work, dude. Our budget is getting organized. Awesome. Unfortunately, our budget's still extremely tight, and we're, you know, at some point we're gonna have to cut people, but we're gonna do our best to. In HR, Heather was like, you know, very stern in basically being like, we need to step up the work, we need to step up the documentation of the work and the output and the deliverables. That's also a next step. I don't know if we'll get it to today, but let's make sure it's on our topic list. So next.
I got my hours for July, August, so maybe we have some like balance in there.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, so output and deliverables and things like that, and then she's open to doing a little negotiation to, you know, play around with, you know, I mean, we're all in a learning experience, so there was, you know, pressure on people to finalize the budgets, even though they didn't really understand what it meant. And so, like, for example, Lucy and James, it's like they increased their budgets by like 500%, not realizing that they would just totally get cut, right? based on the fact that it didn't fit in the budget. So Heather's willing to understand that and willing to work around it. But in the future, especially for people who've been around for a while, if your budget doesn't fit, it's just not going to fit, and the HR board's not going to do it unless, I mean, you have to. If you're raising your budget, it needs to be based on deliverables, output, and your rankings, right? It can't be based on just, oh, I just want to increase, my budget 500% just because, it's just like, that's not going to work. All right, so unless we make like $1 million or something, right? All right, so let's.
I might go $1 million a year.
Exactly. All right, but remember, we're still publicly accountable no matter what. So we can all do our best to increase our team budgets, but the public can just come right in and just kick us all out. All right, so I think we're ready to move on the budgets. Let's go to the next topic, and payroll. Let's just check in on payroll really quick. So there's a new payroll policy proposal. All right. Payroll policy proposal. So we have to pay everybody. Our budget's in Bitcoin, right? So our budget is in Bitcoin, and so so basically we're stuck in that mode, right? We don't require people to accept Bitcoin. You can accept any kind of payment that you want, but it doesn't change the fact that our budget is in Bitcoin. So if you take Bitcoin, it allows us to pay you faster with the least fees, right? So then the next question here.
Jay, I was thinking, because the other day I tried to set up my Bitcoin wallet, but I couldn't do it. I mean, I look everywhere, I tried to do it, but I just couldn't do it. So is there any way that we can get like a training about how to set your Bitcoin wallet so you can be paid on Bitcoin?
Sure. Yeah, that's super easy.
I think that's super important, because if we want people get paid in Bitcoins, I think we need to let them know how to set up the Bitcoin wallet.
Great. And we might be able to find.
Bitcoins I can set up Bitcoin wallets, certainly.
Yeah, and I think we could probably.
Yeah, I know maybe it's super easy, but I just couldn't do it.
It's
I just couldn't do it.
Super easy. The easiest thing to understand.
Gotta take Bitcoins.
Yeah, so the easiest way to set up a Bitcoin wallet is blockchain.info, right? This is very easy. But the problem with blockchain.info is you can't exchange it for US dollars or for your local currency, right? So the complicated part is that I can easily give a training on how to deal with Bitcoin in the United States and how to turn your Bitcoin into US dollars and all of the different options in the United States. The problem is that every single jurisdiction and every single country model and a different company for the best way to turn your Bitcoins into local currency. So that's where it gets complicated.
Yeah, here is really difficult to do that.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that depending on the jurisdiction, you have to find a bank who can transfer Bitcoins into local currency.
Yeah. So anyways, we don't
It's
need
more handled like transactions.
Yeah, and so what we need to do is we need to think about doing a training per country, and we need to list all of the countries that we're working with now, and then figure and do research. We have to research, what the best exchanges are for Bitcoin to local currency. So also let's let Andreen say something. She wanted to say something. Andreen?
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
I was saying that it might be difficult here too, but I think I'll wait on the research.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So anyways, that's a tangent. Let's get back to the proposal, which is that we have a limit of $1,000 per day for, basically what we would call, let's just call it card transactions. So this is basically Bitcoin to US dollars to any other currency. Okay. So that's our limit. If we're paying $3,000, we can only do $1,000 per day, but it's a pretty big limit. You know, I think we're okay there. The problem is that if there's only a $200 per day limit for cash transactions. And for whatever reason, Western Union is considered a cash transaction. So what that means is that everybody doing Western Union, we can pay you a maximum of for $200 per day. So can pay a maximum of $200 per day per person, right? For all people, right? So what that means is that the policy, so the proposal is that we would alternate people using Western Union or limited transactions. So each person would get at least $200 for. So let's say you had Jorge, Nelly, Ana Clara, right? We had 3 people who wanted Western Union. Day 1 could be like Nelly gets $200, right? Day
I can
2,
change that.
Ana Clara gets $200. Day 3, Jorge gets $200, and then day 4, Nelly would get an additional like $200. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is the proposal. The only alternative option is trying to figure out how to exchange the Bitcoins to US dollars faster and better, but right now we're having problems doing that. So for at least in the future, this won't be a problem, but right now it just is. So are there objections? Do we want to do a roll call vote, or what do you guys think?
That's the way it has to be. That's the way it has to be. I mean,
well, there's always other ways to going around it. I mean, we could, we could try to find alternative models of and prioritize getting the US dollars changed into Bitcoin faster to get people paid quicker. So that's definitely an option if people don't want to approve this, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, it could take like a week or more to get everybody paid with Western Union. So anyway, let's do it. Let's do a roll call vote. So I would say yes on this, and then there's other responsibility. We call it bank relations. Bank relations. If anyone wants to help with this, we want to basically, this is where we would set up Bitcoin to US dollar exchanging. So I'm working on that. So does anyone else want to vote on this?
I'll say yes, and I'll work with you on it.
Okay.
I say yes.
Yes.
Guys,
Jorge?
we have 10 minutes to wrap up.
Okay, cool. So we're all in agreement on this proposal. That sounds good. Done on that. All right. So now let's go on to our team goals.
All right.
Nelly, do you want to introduce this, or?
I'm sorry. Yes, the team goals. That's a responsibility that we need to talk about, because that's something that it's in the verification sheet. We checked that is very low. It's like 10%. We haven't worked at all in this, so we really need to work about where we are going as a team. Okay.
So the reason why it's kind of low is because, if you go to our main SuperDoc, it says here, our primary focus as a team is to support the client, and we're getting paid for it, right? So the creation of our team was based on this focus of working to support the needs of the client. But it doesn't have to just be that. I mean, we control our own fate. So, and then also there's we've always had discussions about potentially finding additional clients and other things. But yeah, let's just do a quick round. Nelly, do you want to start by adding your ideas?
Sure. I think more has coming to us. I think we have to organize the documents is very important. Organizing documents is also very important.
Organizing documents, just like in general, to just be more organized as a team?
Yes, to be more organized as a team is very important, because I think that's something that is missing, because sometimes we are getting there, but we are not yet there.
Cool. Jorge?
All right.
And this is an open brainstorm. It could be anything.
Sorry?
This is an open brainstorm, so you can suggest anything or nothing, you know?
Yeah, I would suggest that sometimes you don't have like 2 or 3 hours time to work with your body team, but sometimes, for example, Ana Clara and Ellie and myself, we can get in touch and we can discuss about documents that we are not like 100% sure how to use them. Right, so I believe that the way that we are doing it, sometimes during our body teams, we are doing that for 5 minutes. Yesterday, Nella was explaining me one document that we were working on. So actually, it was clearer after she explained it to me. So, like, the idea would be, if you have any question or something, like send a message to our team, to any of our body team members. So probably we could get it resolved.
So I would also define that as like our culture of helping each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's like maybe
and improve communications. I think we have to improve communications also.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Let's go to Ana Clara.
I think that improved communications. And the other thing that I was thinking about, but it's like almost resolved, is the body team thing, like more working body teams. But I think that since we have the calendar, at least I feel more like organized and secure and more productive. I think it's working, that calendar. So I will work on improve that and be better at that. Like have like a wider schedule and time frame. And I don't know what else. I think we're able to each other. Like this is really flexible. This could lead to like everybody being like Isaac, for example, doing that. So I think that it's important to say that we are very responsible to each other and to each other's time. I don't know. I think that's it. I will like improve our calendar and body teamwork, our communications. And
part of the
I
problem
don't know,
was
that's it.
Great, awesome. I noted down here like the responsibility of buddy team schedule. We call it the schedule because it's not really a calendar; it's like a weekly schedule.
Yeah,
that's great. And then we can add it to the calendar when we're able to. And Steve is working on helping redesign it to be better, because I mean, basically, there's going to be times where there's going to be like, 3-4 buddy teams all meeting simultaneously, and the current model just doesn't allow us to really capture that well. All right.
Give me a week or so.
Yeah,
Give me a week or so. I'll have something to look at, Jay.
Yeah, so Steve, you can work with Ana Clara some on that as well. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, how about you could go next? You want to go next?
All right. My problem is, I mean, we do have a buddy team schedule, buddy team calendar. We're getting notifications, calendar notifications for some of the buddy team meetings, but not all of them. And since I don't walk around with the buddy team calendar pasted to my phone, I count on those notifications. And when they don't come, I miss a buddy team meeting that I didn't realize I was supposed to be at. When I look at the calendar, I say, wow, I was supposed to be there at 1 o'clock. But I never got the notification. I was sitting at home, but I never got a notification from the calendar. Like today, I got a calendar notification that we had a buddy team an hour before the meeting day.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Steve, you have to merge your Google Calendar in your phone with the calendar in the page. There is a Jay actually taught me how to do it, so you can do it too.
I've already merged them. I'm still not getting all the notifications, and I don't know why.
And you're not getting the notifications? Oh, that's weird.
I get some, but not all.
Yeah, I have all the notifications.
Yeah, me
like
too.
Nelly, like all the weeks, I don't know, last week, Nelly, you like schedule everything, right?
Yeah, I did.
All notifications.
All right, let's see what happens. I was just saying, I noticed it yesterday, and when I had a buddy meeting, and I had to look at the calendar a couple hours later, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know about that meeting. I have one of these behind Clara. Nice memories on that one.
All right, so let's go on.
It makes my only way to make sure that notifications get out the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
We can help you with that. It's just about to go to the page in to the Andromeda calendar, and then you will add that calendar to your Google Calendar, your personal account, and then you will have all the notifications.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. James. Andreen, do you want to add anything? So
I'm just listening and trying to get the understanding of how the body team works and so I just continue to I'm taking some notes here so that I don't get myself into any trouble.
Great. And do you have a link to the notes, the online notes on the Google Doc?
Yes, I'm reading them.
Okay,
yes.
cool. And then I'll add a couple things here. One, I think we need to really step up evaluations. We might even want to do like our monthly evaluations. There was the I think Anna Clara was working on it. There was like the very, very, very detailed, self evaluations, and there was the task of taking the very detailed self evaluations and like downsizing it a bit for something a little faster and simpler.
Yeah, that's done.
Cool. So if we could get that out for now, I mean, this is the time for our monthly evaluations because it's the end of the month, right? So that would be good. I think self-evaluations is really important, as well as just general evaluations, session evaluations, weekly evaluations, all that. And then we're also, we need to step up our verification spreadsheets, which I think is already happening. It's very exciting. I think it's really helping a lot to get people understanding what's going on. And then the only other thing I'll say is that, like, I feel like I'm up to my neck and like underwater with client responsibilities. Like, it's just like the client responsibilities are too much, right? We're just not getting paid enough money to be dealing with all this stuff. And, part of like hiring all of us and creating this team is to get it all done. It's just like, let's just get it done already. So part of that is like, we need to realize that, we need to hire more people short term get through this backlog of all this craziness as an organization, as a team, and then realize that after that we need to let people go, because once we finish all this work, we either need to get more work to keep everybody on, or we need to downsize the paid team. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
possibly
Yes.
hire more people, get through the backlog, and get it done. So, you know, in the next like 2 weeks, a lot of stuff needs to get done if we're going to meet our client
Expectations.
expectations. You know, specifically there's the portfolio reports as well as the finance reports. This all needs to happen very soon. So and we could say these are basically responsibilities. All right, so, but the point of me saying this is not that the focus should be on the responsibility task. The focus, what I want is the focus to be on helping the world, helping the environment, helping each other, helping people. Like, we need to get past all of this client stuff and get it under control so that we can start focusing on what we're really here to do, which is to transform the world and make the world a better place for people, you know? And I think we're in a really good place to do that. And so right now we're still just like backlogged and just overwhelmed with the client responsibilities and way behind schedule. Only by like a week or two, but it's just, I'm hoping that we'll be able to really get on top of the responsibilities for the client and be able to get beyond that so that we can focus on public outreach, investor relations, and like the Venus session. Like the Venus session's happening next week. It's not going to be a public event. I mean, we haven't done any outreach. Like nothing happens, The Galactic session, and other sessions, and get the public more involved. Like that's really what we're here to do, is to get the public involved. Support.
I think once we get through the backlog, we can do that, David. We got to get through the backlog before we can handle that.
Well, that's what I said. Exactly. Cool. So that's my input. Check. Any other input for the brainstorm on our team goals?
Not for me.
No, it's okay.
All right, so I think
We
we're
need to get those reports. Yes.
Yeah, I think we're ready to move on.
Just one thing. Just one little thing. Probably like training on specific things, and we could help you out with the client's responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like working with you, head to head, but specific training on stuff, so you could actually train us to do something that you do in such a way that it would not be like wrong at the end. So
that's a very good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, so we definitely need to do more training.
I'm just trying to help you out with the budget so that you can put some of that responsibility up on my shoulders. And I'm going to start trying to do a little more what I'm supposed to be doing with this communications. Some of Nellie's shoulders. If she's working herself crazy. I haven't been pulling my own, but I intend to do so very shortly.
Cool.
Today, tomorrow. You're going to have to help me.
I know maybe you want to bring more people on board, but maybe also we can work, I don't know, more hours. I mean, I know that's something that all of the members of the team mentioned that will be a good thing for all of us. More hours.
I have to say something. I understand what Jorge is saying. I understand what Nelly saying too, but I think we are stuck in a point where everybody wants to work and everybody does work, but some of us were trying all this time to do things correctly, and when I say correctly, I mean as a Jay will do it. So we are all this time figuring out what Jay will do with this or with that. So all in that place where, like Jorge says, we need more training to do things like Jay will do. But I think that the main point here is like do things like they have to be done and resolved. Demand to Jay trust us, and we trust ourselves. If we reach that point, be more effective with the hours we have and the tasks we do. There are a lot of tasks that everybody can do. We are all the time thinking, how would Jay do it, or how is like Jay's priorities and all that stuff, and figure that out if we just give it a chance to do it by ourselves. And if we have like maybe Jay's tell us this is wrong, like no, we are not wrong, and explain why we did that in the way we did it. Most of the time we are wrong, but other times we are right. Like everybody has a different logic and different ways to do things, but the main goal here is not do things like Jay will do it. Is just do things and help with the work.
We have stopped doing things as you say when that's how Jay would do it.
Exactly. In the end,
we are stuck in that point where everybody's working but getting done because we are worried about what Jay will say.
Exactly.
Or how he will do it. And that is a problem.
Yeah. And Anacleta is 100% correct with all that. And I do apologize for sometimes coming down a little harsh on things. In general, we have made some mistakes, and it's always better to do it and do it wrong and then, correct it and make it better, so that's making mistakes is not a problem, right? If making mistakes is a problem, we all wouldn't have, a job or whatever. But the idea is that, making mistakes is okay. It's just a matter of communicating and working through it. And some of these items, like the master ledger, I didn't know how to do the master ledger. I made it up, right? Because it was my responsibility, and you guys are getting involved in something that I've been involved in for 6 months. But as time goes on, and every time we have a new responsibility, I'm not the one who necessarily knows how to do it. Like I can make it up, but you're also perfectly capable of making up a plan, or more importantly, that we collectively and collaboratively create it together. There are more responsibilities than I could ever personally be in charge of. Like, it's just, there's no way for me to do it on my own. So as you take on a responsibility, part of that is empowering yourself to being creative with it, and making it work for you and the people that are there. But in the end, the bottom line is we're creating systems. Like, everything needs to be systematization. So we create systems and processes that can be easily trained to other people, right? What is not allowed is to create a system that only works for you. Because if you only do it the way that it works for you and it won't work for anybody else, that is not in congruency with the whole way that our organization works and public accountability and transferring and changing around responsibilities. We want to be very flexible. But yeah, so I think that's really good what Anacleta was saying. Does anyone want to add anything to that discussion? And I think
we have to take the time to explain the things to each other.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we do.
And part of that's going to take time, and I think that's part of where Nelly was coming in terms of increasing hours. So the problem with increasing hours, of course, is that it can increase the budget, and our budget is currently fixed, right? We don't have the ability to increase the budget. Part of bringing on new people in this time will be specifically related to the public accountability, right? So, if we have people on the team budgets who are increasing their budget and increasing their rates beyond what the public is requesting, it's just, we need to have that balance between the public requesting rates and then the team requesting rates. So if the team budget was based on the public accountability and the rates, that would be all matched, right? And we wouldn't need to bring on any more people. But as long as people are increasing rates and we have budget rates that are higher than the public request, we always have the ability to be publicly accountable. So we do need to bring some new people on based on that, and there is more work than we could ever possibly do with the people here. It's just I don't see how to get around that. And people working additional hours can always be back paid with a simple vote. So if we all vote to pay the back pay, and this comes into the payroll discussion too, we haven't finished the payroll. The payroll needs to be updated. We need to look at everybody's pay for the whole month. We need to look at the budget for the whole month. And then we can vote to choose to pay everybody for their back pay if we can budget it. And that saves us money, right? Because then we don't have to pay the additional 25% back pay increase. And so anyone can work as many hours as they want, and then it's a vote to be able to pay them the additional money of the hours that they worked. It's not guaranteed because it has to fit in the budget. It doesn't fit in the, but we can't pay people money we don't have, right? So
Sure.
yeah, and we always have to be thinking ahead for the next month and making sure people have money for the next month too. All right, any other additions to this? Oh, and I want to add that this is where note taking is just like the most important, is when we actually get into discussions. So it's like I can take notes when other people are talking. For example, all the things that Anaclata said. But when I'm talking, I can't take notes. So this is where it's important for somebody else to be taking notes while I'm talking. Anything else people want to say?
I'm okay.
So, Nelly, do you think we should put on next steps? Have a more
Yes.
deeper discussion in relation to how do we increase hours and what our options are for that?
Yes. And if not increasing hours, then we can budget new people coming to the team.
Well, we are doing that already.
Yeah.
So we have a very limited budget, but
Yeah.
we have to hire a few people. We also need to hire someone locally here in San Francisco, which is going to be extremely expensive.
I know,
yeah.
it's real expensive in
And-
San Francisco.
And part of the reason we haven't hired that person yet is because of how much money. I mean, we're spending basically over $3,000 a month across the world, and we're only bringing in $3,000. So it's just very, very difficult to be able to hire the local person. But we need that. Without that, we will not be able to complete all of the client tasks and run our organization. Is literally impossible. So yeah, so I think we're good on that. We put that in next steps to have a bigger, more in-depth discussion on the increasing hours, etc. The only other thing here I'll just say is that for the document organizing, the main session doc is a task that needs to be done. For the main session doc, this would be for once a week, and that's the only notes. So our super team notes have all of the notes in session, and we also need to create a notes doc for our super team, because this is just ridiculous. I mean, we don't need to list every single notes on here. It's just too much. So we could create a new notes doc for our super team, and then we need to create a new main session doc. So also create a new notes doc for our super team notes. I mean, it's just like over a page of notes now. I mean, this is just way too much to have on our super team doc. So we can just copy and paste this into a notes doc for the super team, and then only have like the most recent notes. Like we only need like the last week or two, and then all this other stuff we can get rid of. We don't want to get rid of it. We just want to copy and paste it into a new doc. So we can clean it up, make it nicer. Any questions on these documentations tasks? Does anyone want to volunteer to do them? Cool. So yeah, so we need to get that done. I mean, I don't know, like
That's
buddy
kind of
team,
difficult. I mean,
buddy team, Nelly,
yeah,
Anacleta, and Orange.
I'll create a new notes doc for the super team notes,
Cool.
and I'll copy
well,
and paste
yeah.
them over.
Exactly. Great, thank you. All right, so let's start wrapping up. So with the wrap up, and we're wrapping up a little bit late, but I think we're okay. I don't think we have a lot to go over the wrap up. So the first thing is Andrine's schedule. So Andrine, we need your schedule. Hopefully Nelly can help you get into the schedule. We're going to be assigning you buddy teams, but you can basically work whenever you want. You just need to schedule with us so we can train and work together. This time every day we do buddy teams for this 2-hour period in the middle of the Americas session. So Nelly, if you can make sure that she has the link to the scheduling doc, and I mean all of us are. I mean this is something that's just not been completed correctly. Is the Americas Octant scheduling? This is a task for everybody, So everyone schedule availability. So, Andrine, do you want to give us a general idea of your availability?
Anywhere between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. 3 a.m. is really early, and then do you understand that we do everything in America's time? So, what time zone is this that you're referring to?
Your 3 a.m. would be my 4.
So this is all in America's time?
Yes.
Okay, great.
This is your 4 a.m. My 3 a.m. is your 4 a.m. I'm a hour ahead of you.
And when you say you mean America's time as in like UTC -6?
Yes.
It is better now.
I'm at -5.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so 4 p.m. 10 minutes. So yeah, so I mean you're available most of the day. You don't have any other job or anything? Any other work that you're doing minus like your church and your other?
I work between 8 and 4. That's why I give those times.
Got it. Perfect. So currently works between 8 to 4 p.m. So how are you here now? Is this, you had to not be at work right now to do this?
I would have finished working like an hour ago.
You just finished working an hour ago. Okay, cool. So in general, we do our weekly sessions at this time, and this is the most important session to come to. But you don't have to come to it. No one's required to come to this session. It's just where we make all the decisions and stuff. Nobody has, like, we can hire more people and they don't have to come to the session, but then they would be missing out on the Andromeda, equity and the value and the decision making and the power within the organization. The 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. that time frame. After this is the Pacific session, and then there's the Oceania session. So yeah, so those are really good times. Me and Nelly are the main ones doing that. So we would love to work with you more during that time, Andrine. So Nelly, definitely let's collaborate with Andrine to get her scheduled for like 6-7 hours a week of scheduled buddy time, and then she'll have like 3 or so hours to do on her own time to get started.
Clara.
Yeah. Steve, did you have something to say?
Clara, I apologize for not making the sections that I was supposed to make with you. It was a calendar thing. I'm going to
okay.
If you were there and I wasn't, and so that's not okay. I know
That happened to me also.
So make sure that my calendars are right.
All right, so we can't really hear either. We can't really hear you too well, Steve. Hey, Steve, we can't really hear you. All right, so let's see if we can move on here. Ana Clara, can anyone else hear Steve? Can anyone else hear Steve, or is it my problem? Am I the problem? Can anyone hear me?
I'm not hearing.
Well,
I'm
maybe.
hearing you.
Well, it's possible that we got cut off. Let's see what's going on here. So, can anyone hear me? Hey, anybody? All right, I'm gonna try to get back on.
I'm still here, Andrine.
Well, yeah, Andrine, I can hear you. You're on the phone. Everybody else is on the Hangout, so.
Before you guys got on.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, you can.
We've heard you all along.
Yes.
Oh, weird.
you
I
hear
wasn't
us?
able to hear you guys. All right, cool. So keep going.
That's the same thing that happened to us earlier. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys finish what you needed to say? Are we ready to move on?
I guess so, yeah.
You guys are good? Okay.
Yes.
So are there any other next steps that anyone wants to add about anything? A topic to. Oh, that's very important. That's a task. So, yeah. And Nelly, I'm gonna put that on you, but you can get Abdul or someone from the Sonic team to work on that as well. So we need to create all
Sure.
of the personnel docs for and okay. So
Yeah.
okay, so that's important. So from there, also reminding everyone for the full moon session. I think Steve, you'd be good for that. It's tomorrow. That's part of communications,
Yeah.
so that's important. And I will make sure people know for the Sonic team tonight. Any other next steps anyone could think about? Related to anything?
Except that I need to think about is me, Nelly, and Clara have to get together to do the budget. Today, tomorrow.
I mean,
Or it
anyone
doesn't have
can
to be
just
done by
do it.
Saturday.
Right.
Anyone
Don't
can
worry.
just do it as well. Like me and Nelly will be working on it potentially this afternoon. I mean, it just needs to happen. So you don't necessarily need to get everybody
Alright.
together to work
All
on
right,
it.
I'll be around.
Cool.
I'll be around.
Awesome. Yeah, you can just do it.
What
It's
is it that you'll be working on?
that was the
'Cause I didn't
budget.
hear that.
That's gonna be the budgets that
Oh.
get updated. Yeah. All right. So I think we're good. We have a lot of tasks and responsibilities. People can get to work. If there's any questions on that, let us know. Evaluations, like people really need to be doing evaluations. I feel like we should almost like take a minute at the end of every session to do evaluations. And it's just the link right there. You just link it and evaluate. How was our session? It was pretty good today. I'll give it a 6. We did pretty good. And we're happy to have Andrine. Andrine did very good today. She's still getting started. Great to have you on board. You have lots to learn. Well, so anyway, so doing evaluations is important so that we have, data coming in on people's involvement in their work and everything, right? Session verification spreadsheet, that's good. Meeting value tracking, we'll be doing that right after. So let's start with the checkouts and then go from there. Does anyone have any questions on how to do the evaluation? And then Anna Clara, you should send out the monthly evaluations form or the weekly one, depending on which one it is.
Yes.
And anything else before we check out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So maybe during our checkouts, people can be doing their evaluations. All right. Who wants to go first? I guess.
Do you want me to put a link of the monthly evaluation on the doc?
Please. Yes. You can also go directly on the Andromeda doc as well as the full team doc. I mean, everybody needs to have access to it. All right, so I guess I'll start real quick. So I thought this was a great session. You know, we definitely, once we get into the discussions, the note taking seems to drop off. So we need to increase note taking for what, especially when I'm talking. From there, I feel like we really, you know, I think for the first time, our budget is almost organized. Is it perfect? No, but we're really close. There seems to be more understanding on the buddy teams, which is really good. I'm really excited about Andreen getting involved. It's just great to have you here and representation from Jamaica and all that, because I've been working on communicating with a bunch of people from Jamaica, but no one ever seemed to connect. So it's really great to have you. And yeah, I'm excited. So check.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who wants to check out next? How about you and Jean? Why don't you check out next? And Jean, you want to check out? Just say how the meeting went for you.
The meeting was good. I learned a lot. I still have some more things that I probably ask Nelly at the end of this that I wrote down. So I'll have her to help me get started, and then I think I'll be good. And I'm looking forward to working with the team.
We're looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Steve, you want to check out?
Yeah, I'll check out. Quick little self-evaluation. I'm sorry, but I feel like I let you especially down a little bit because I'm not up to speed. That month that I had to take off for personal reasons kind of fell in a bad spot when it was out. Access all the docs and do everything, but I will get caught up in the next few days. I will get the stuff that I told you I'll get done today. And I'm sorry for those who the buddy teams that I missed. That won't happen anymore either. Otherwise, it's been a great meeting, and hopefully we'll get a lot done in the next couple of days.
Jorge?
I think that today we have some points like quite clear, and every single time we try to make this checkpoints, we get things clearer and we can move forward. All good for me. Check.
Ana Clara?
Okay.
Nelly?
Yes, I'm glad we went through the goals for the team. I know at the beginning when we started 1 month ago, we were on the basic, like was just work for X. But now, since then, we have grown, so we needed to change those goals, and I think we got what we needed, and I'm very happy about that. So, check.
Ana Clara? Is Ana Clara still here? I'm having problems with my internet. All right, and James is gone. Okay. So let's just see if she wrote anything in.
You said that there was a blackout in this area on the Skype dock.
Okay, so Ana Clara is going to check out. James is not here. So the only other thing I would say is that you know, we really do need to get focus on the organizing of the master training video list, and then also well, one of the key next steps that we have here that we didn't get to today that we'll go over as soon as possible is these responsibility and project coordination. So if you have responsibility, if you're responsible for responsibility, or you have oversight over a project, right? We need to have clear how that coordination works, including organizing all of the master video indexing for that particular responsibility or for the training, right? So I think this is like really important, and we need someone to kind of step. I think Steve has been working on this some. We probably need someone else to help with this. And there's never going to be in a possible way for everybody to be present for all of the trainings. And so people are going to have to watch the videos to get some of the trainings. And that's just going to be, there's no way around that because we're a global organization, you know, and we can't spend hours and hours doing trainings with 10 people on a call. And typically that's difficult to do the training that way anyways, you know? So anyways, what we need to get better at doing that. So I want to add that to our goals because I think that's really important. All right, cool. Anything else anyone wants to add? I think we're done. Here we go. Anacleta, I think it was a great meeting. We were organized and learning how to work with each other, but we should still take more decisions. We still take more decisions and be faster getting things done. I'm going to eat because I'm starving. Welcome to our new member. Awesome. Great. All right. So let's add that to our checkouts. Any last things from anyone?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, great. Does anyone want to volunteer to help out with the organizing of the master video training list? Besides Steve?
I thought Steven was doing that.
Yeah, Steve's on it, but it would be good to have a buddy team on it. All right, cool. So I think this is good. Let's just wrap up here. A couple of us might stay afterwards and work a little bit on the spreadsheet verification as well as the like some evals. I'm gonna do some evals, and also we have what's it called? The master video indexing and the session value tracking. Other than that, we're done. So yeah, all done.
Okay. I'm working on the session value tracking. Could you please check it?
Yeah, I'll work on it some too. Monthly version here. Oh, cool.
Let me add her to the schedule. It's going to be 3 to 6. I don't think nobody's going to work from 3 to 6, but maybe 4 to 10. That's 4 to 10. Did she mention Saturdays?
No, I don't think so.
No, right? Okay, she's in the calendar now.
Great. Oh, Saturdays are fine for Andreen. So maybe you
She
could
said Saturdays
schedule
are
it.
fine. She just typed in Saturdays are fine.
Yeah, schedule. See if she can schedule to work with us during the Americas and Pacific session on Saturdays, because that's the most important time. And we don't have
Yeah.
anyone except for me and Steve. So me and Steve do that time,
All right.
but we don't have anyone
Okay.
else.
So maybe I'm going to be there no matter what. So
Yeah.
give me 2 seconds. It's 6 in the morning in Hong Kong, and a beautiful young lady just video chatted to me. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Well, we're done, Steve. We're done. I'm going to be taking a break, and we're going to start up for the Pacific session in like an hour.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I need to talk to you privately in a today, not about anything about work. It's about work, but not about anything to do with anyone else. About what to do with me. It doesn't have to be now. It can be later, or it can be tomorrow, or whatever. But the next day or so, I need to talk to you just for 2 minutes.
Of
Schedule
course.
something with
Yeah, we should set up a buddy team with just me and you for sure.
we got to do that.
Yeah. I'll be available.
Because
Like,
I
if you want-
need your help to get me caught up.
Cool. Yeah.
For the time that I missed, I need your help to get me caught up. Once I'm caught up, we know what I can do. But there's a couple of other things like accessing documents. I didn't type anything onto the notes sheet because I don't even know how to get onto the notes sheet.
You couldn't get on the notes for today?
Not now. I need to, brainstorm with you for an hour so I can just make notes to myself to get these little odds and ends done that'll make me a lot more productive, and then I can start doing things on my own that I don't have to,
And over
I mean, I'm going to get the sheet.
Yeah,
I'll get the sheets done that I said and stuff like that.
yeah, and over time it'll happen automatically for sure.
I know. All right. I'll pop back on in an hour or so. I'll talk to you all then.
Okay, ciao.
Okay, I'll see you later. I'm going to take a break and be ready for the Pacific session.
Great.
Right?
Okay, Jay, could you please check the value tracking for the session to
Okay.
check if it is correct?
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao, Nelly.
Bye, Nelly.
I mean, it looks good for me. We're just missing Andreen, right?
Okay.
Andreen. But I think that's it, right? So we got Steve, Anacleta, Jorge, Jay, Nelly, Jorge, Nelly, Steve, Anacleta. I think that's right. It looks really good. Thank you, Jorge. That's awesome.
Hey, how was the calculation? It's
Don't worry about the calculation. The session meeting value tracking spreadsheet automatically calculates it. So we don't have to worry about that part anymore. So if you're going to spend any time, the time should be spent actually adding it to the session meeting value tracking spreadsheet and then checking that off the list. But we could just have Abdul or the Sonic team do that for us. Although we're not paying them a lot of money, it's like $300. Okay, so any other things from you, Andreen? You have any other question?
No, that's it for now. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So I think we're all done. But thanks so much. I'm just gonna hang up the phone. We'll talk later on today. Just check in with Nelly, and we'll schedule. Make sure you're clear on scheduling for later on today or tomorrow, and definitely Saturdays is a really great day because that's one of our most important sessions. And then in general, what you're going to want to do is just make sure you have the link to the calendar, and you can always join any session that's scheduled. So if it's on there, that's publicly open sessions that you can join any of them. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. And the other thing I was going to say, that I always mention is that you know, we're a huge network that encompasses, you know, I mean, we're overseeing easily over $500,000 of funds. And there's about 20 organizations that we have. Very few of them actually pay us. Most of the work that we do is all basically for free, or we get very small amounts of money for it. And we're here just to support and help organizations that are working towards social change and making the world a better place. So there's so much going on and so many different branches of the whole network. It could literally take years, like 2 years or more, for you to really get a grasp of everything going on, right? So it's just like, you know, week by week, step by step, just little by little, you can learn a little bit. And, you know, everything is very temporary as far as like these positions are just for our client responsibilities for the next month, you know, so we have you budgeted for 1 month. We'll just see how it goes. And from there, we'll, you know, just learn as best as you can. I mean, it might take you a week or two to just even get the basic, you know, what's going on, to just get some tasks and start working on some of these client responsibilities or team support responsibilities. So, and we'll just continually be training and working with you, and make sure you have the link for the video index training, so you can watch as many trainings as you want to learn about how to do all the various tasks and responsibilities. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And remember to track all of your hours. So anytime you're you know, communicating on Skype or, you know, working on anything, it's just like track your hours and add that, and we'll be sending you your work report, and you'll be tracking your hours there. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Awesome. All right. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Right, I'm checking out, Jay. See you later.
Oh yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah, great, Jorge. It looks really good. And you didn't add it to the session meeting value tracking spreadsheet, right? We'll have Abdul or someone do that later.
All right.
All right. Have a good one. Talk to you tomorrow or next week. All right,
Okay.
bye.
See you.